A year ago, January, I fired my old CTO. And sometimes you have to do it, right? Even the guys that were with you from the beginning. Surround yourself with the best people that bring the top level experience and knowledge to your company.
I'm in with my man, Matt from Konnektive. Matt Martorano, he is one of the guys that I've been doing business with for a long time. I had him on my podcast when we first started, but it's been some time since we actually did that, and we wanted to do a revamp because I kind of messed it up as well when we posted it up there. And I didn't show his pretty face, his mug, when we did that release. So, Matt, you've been doing some big things inside of the e-commerce space for such a long time. I'm honored to have you as a guest and a partner. So welcome to the show.
Thanks, Chase. And guys, I love Chase Harmer. He's always there. He's got a smile for you. He's got a joke. He's always fun to be around. So thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Well, you know what? You guys are doing some amazing things. You built this company from scratch, and I understand what building a company from scratch in the technology space is like. It's a big pain in the fucking ass. But you also have scaled up this company to be really doing some massive revenue. You have some really big clients. And you guys have some really cool things that are coming out with the Funnel Connect and some of the other products that you're doing. But people want to understand, the entrepreneurial journey is really tough. And I know that it took a while. This is pretty good too, because a lot of the guys that we have in this show, they may be marketers. They may be making a lot of money, but they didn't build something like technology-wise that really people are utilizing on a daily basis. And the problems that go with technology. So for all the people that are entrepreneurs and building technology, it's so challenging. Love to hear your story and kind of how you started it and a little bit of the footsteps. So tell me about it.
Right on. So this kind of goes back to the original podcast that you did screw up. So I was actually a product marketer. I would build and invent products, and I did a lot of radio and print advertising, and eventually got into affiliate advertising. Well, I had all of these calls coming in, and me being a control freak, I built my own call center.
Right.
So I eventually had a 150 seat call center. I had 100 seats for sales, 50 seats for customer service. We were doing our own product fulfillment. We were doing obviously our own transaction processing. Everything that we were doing was done in house. When we originally started, we were just taking paper orders. Can you imagine writing all these orders down on paper and then have a data entry person putting in, entering all
credit card
stuff and huge security risk. So I hired a couple of developers and I had them build a system that fit my enterprise, what we were utilizing it for. And then fast forward several years, sold that company. A year later, I took the software that we used and I was looking at this and I was thinking, I bet you other people can use this. They're struggling the same way we did. We even built some affiliate tools into it so we could take online orders and sales. And so we started building Konnektive. A year later, we launched Konnektive, and it was tough because now you're entering into a world where there's competition, heavy competition.
So there's and that's actually a good place to so you coming into that space, you have this product, and there's other CRMs out there. What was that like for you building that? Were you trying to build something that had offered more value? I mean, what did you concentrate on when you were starting to build that too?
Well, so that's the thing. I never saw the inside of any of my competitor systems, and I still don't see it. I never go into any of the competitive systems because it ethically, I think it's wrong. I know a lot of guys, the first thing they want to do is now buy a subscription so then they can start looking at all the tools and features and functions. I thought that my best sounding board were the clients that we were bringing on. So even though we had, and I'll admit it, version 1 was very shitty.
Everyone's version 1 is shitty though. Everyone's version 1 shit. The clients don't know their beta. Only you know their beta.
That was the beta. So, but what I did was a couple of things. From the feedback I was receiving, there was a definite need because people didn't like the 3 or 4 other CRMs that were out there. They absolutely hated them. So they were dying. They just wanted a new solution to help them run their business. And so I would pull them and I would say, Chase, all right, you've been on the system for a couple of weeks. What type of reports do you need? Or is there any functionality you think is missing? I still do it to this day. I send out notices. We're building out these graphical analytics to make reporting a lot easier. So I'll go to some of our bigger clients and say, hey, we're starting to do this. If you have any ideas of what you would love to see, give me your feedback.
Great.
We'll bring it in, we'll scope it out. So I would say if you're building a technology, or if you're building any company that's customer centric, not consumers, if you're selling a hard good product to consumer, it really doesn't, I mean, getting their feedback is good.
Right.
If you're trying to build a tribe and get the word, spread the word on how awesome your new product is, I mean, that's a great way to go viral. But if you're building any type of product that has a business to business, utilize that resource and have them give you as much feedback as possible. And don't be afraid of bad feedback. I love when people tell me that, there's a part of my system that, oh man, this thing is shitty. You know what would make it better? I love those conversations.
But there's like so many things that you can so I just know, because I'm a technology guy too, and when we build out these technologies, you're constantly doing these new things, right? So how important is it? Because like as a sales guy too, right? You see these ideas and you're like, man, we need that. We need to do this. We need to do that. But then you concentrate your efforts on those, and you maybe take away some of the time to build some other functionality that may be needed. So, I mean, I know that I made that mistake a bunch of times, and the baseline foundation wasn't completely done here, and I started on this. And then the user experience there is kind of bad. How important is that? And I mean, how do you guys take on new projects like that?
It's a big deal. So a year ago, January, I fired my old CTO. And sometimes you have to do it, right? Even the guys that were with you from the beginning, if you reach the end of their usefulness, their skill level, sometimes it's hard, but you have to make the decision to do that. Bring in the best, surround yourself with the best people that bring the top level experience and knowledge to your company. I brought in this CTO who, the first thing we did is we evaluated all of the employees that were there and on the dev team, and we cleaned house. I think we retained 3 out of 30. Wow. And we just started the rehiring process again. It was painful, it feels like you're taking a step back, but what it did is it allowed us to propel way further than where we would have gotten with those 30 original people.
Well, I know you're just like me too, like in that we're super impatient. So like, yes. I'm like, dude, what are you guys doing over there? Like, it's taking forever. But like, and especially when you back up and you have 3 guys and then you build it up to a 30-person team, all those guys have to get into the system. So like, you're like, oh, I got 30 new guys, I'm going to have immediate results. Well, it's like, no, actually, all those people actually have to get into the system, get the funnel down. I mean, so how do you actually keep yourself in check to like, to set realistic expectations in your own mind as a CEO when you're dealing with guys? Because I'm not a technical guy, but I know we're both on the sales kind of end of things. Like, how do you keep yourself in check with that?
Yeah, so I'm like the chief innovation officer. I dream up this stuff because and then I give it to these guys. And first of all, you have to find a team who can actually translate your vision into something that's
right. That's important.
That's tangible, important. Right? We use a lot of tools. So Jira.
Yeah.
Jira has been a great tool for us because it helps us with our sprint planning. And I tell my team all the time, I say, look, I know I'm the guy that wants everything done yesterday. Give me some realistic goals. So what we did was, rather than having these long sprints, and I know you've been through them, Chase, where these sprints are 30, 60, 90 days, depending on the project. We break it down into 1 week sprints.
Yeah. So you guys do 1 week sprints now? 1 week?
We do 1 week sprints, and it allows us, so if, let's say, someone gets to the end of the sprint, we see they're getting burnt out, we can easily pivot and put another developer on it so they can pick up right where the last one left off. It's been highly efficient. Another thing that we did that's been fantastic. So now we have 24 developers in-house.
Nice.
We hired an Indian team. We have 6 developers in India. So when my guys are sleeping, we have another team still working. And so we have 24 hours of productivity. So
what's a good, I wonder this. Well, I don't, because I have a CTO. He's we built out the team and all in the house. But when you use guys from different countries, and there's obviously a lot of different areas you can choose from. India is obviously the least expensive, but you can get pretty highly qualified people there. Russia's pretty good too. Brazil's great. Outside of India, like where do you recommend getting guys from?
Oh man, there's developers in the Czech Republic, in Pakistan. They're, like you said, they're all over the place. It's a matter of finding the right company, and you have to treat them like regular employees. Now with like video conferencing and things like that, Skype or whatever tools you're using, having that immediate access is great, but there's nothing quite like having someone next to you in the office to bounce ideas off of, or to, if something gets screwed up, you can go right next door. It's a nice resource, or for me to be able to walk back and say, hey, Jeff, what the hell's going on with this project?
Right.
It's nice to have that. But if you're using an external team, just give them, just like you do with your regular team, create the sprints, give them the projects that they can manage in that period of time. And you're putting them through a 60 or 90-day ringer also when they first start, to make sure that they have the skill set to be able to handle your projects. A lot of these guys, like we found a company that actually just gives us the people as we need them.
Yeah.
And the company that we're utilizing pre-screen their technical jobs.
Did you pay them like an upfront fee for some amount of people, or do you have to pay like a buyout fee for when you use them, or you just use them?
They send us a monthly invoice for the hours worked, and because we're using Jira, we have an exact number of hours. So when they send us the invoice, we match it up, we reconcile, and then send them a check.
Yeah. One of the things that was really hard for me when I started was that I don't know. I mean, we're a technology company just like you, but I'm just not a technological person. Like, I'm really good on email, and I have a team of guys that know what they're doing. But the thing was, when I started our company, and I don't know if you had the same problem, this is what I'm asking, and how you guys solved it is, I had a team in India initially when we first started, and I basically blew through a couple $100,000, and I honestly thought the product was working. I thought that, but me not being that technological person, like I didn't truly understand what you were buying for. I had the vision, but you weren't really testing it. So, and then we found out it was a pile of crap, and I had to fucking throw it away and start over with a new team. It was just it was back in like 2013 when we did that. But did you have a lesson like that? And how do you solve that?
So we did have a lesson like that years ago when we first tried a team. And the problem was we were doing this under the last CTO, under this CTO.
Right.
The Indian team they're not the lead developers.
Right. Okay. They're just part of the
mid-level or junior developers working with a senior person on our team. That senior person is constantly checking their work and saying, nope, this is done wrong, change this. And we have specific parameters.
Right.
Our code, it needs to be exactly the way my CTO wants it. Otherwise, we kick it back.
Right.
And if you screw up, you're off the team. We hire a new guy.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, you have to do that, right? If guys are underperforming, right? Because your teams are remote too. And this is one of the questions I want to ask you. I mean, you guys are built this big company now, and you guys have thousands of clients, and you guys are kicking ass all over the place. How do you guys keep a culture like that intact, right? Because I know our team is a lot of remote people. I don't know if you guys have your main office in Atlanta, and you're also in Puerto Rico. But how do you keep all these things running and everybody engaged as employees?
Oh, that's a great question. It's constant interaction. So you would ask the question, how do we manage these? Every Monday morning we have a management meeting. So all of the critical team members, the managers of each of our business units, whether it be account management, whether it be the sales team, whether it be development team, operations, we bring everyone together in the room and we go through, okay, what do you have? And each person gets to go around the room and they talk about what is going on in their little world.
Yeah.
And what it does, it aligns everybody, regardless of the business unit, aligns everyone to the same common goal. Right. And of course, I'm driving the goals, but we need to know what's happening with this project and development. And then from account management, what client needs this, so we can kind of mix it all together. And then from the sales side, so this is a new product. How are we going to sell this? So it aligns everybody. So Monday morning meetings have always been massive for us to keep that culture and that alignment. We also do a lot of fun things with our employees. If they finish a project ahead of time, there's awards. I had an employee come up to me the other day and say, or actually it was a couple of weeks ago, boy, I was at a job for years. No one ever gave me $100 gift card.
Yeah.
You know, little things like that. I mean,
yeah.
It's $100, but it's, you know, but it's very meaningful to these people that, you know, maybe they're making, you know, 80, 90, $100,000 a year. But, and it's nice to see when your employees are excelling and now they're buying cars, they're buying houses, they're having babies. So, and by the way, make sure all your employees get to the point where they can buy a house, because once they buy a house, they'll never leave you.
100%. That's a great motivational factor for a lot of people. You know, these big items that traditionally have, you know, been so important. I think for me though, you know, those aren't as important now. But let's talk about your innovation. You know, you're a guy that started the CRM and with an idea in mind, but you guys have grown it to this new technology where you guys are doing a lot of cool things that these clients want and really are adding value and money and shorter periods of time for integration and things like that. Tell me about Funnel Connect, some of these new products that you have, and how you're changing the CRM game.
Yeah, so I would say, even going back to Konnektive, what we did is we found gaps, right? You have to find gaps in the industry that can be filled with something bigger, better, stronger, faster. You know, the old adage. For years, I've been hearing about other funnel builders that were slow and not scalable and problematic and didn't integrate well. And so I said, you know, we're going to build our own and we're going to make it better than anything else out there. So now we launched Funnel Connect. And the cool thing about Funnel Connect is not only does it have all the, you know, the front end design capabilities, so you can go in and build a website, whether it be an e-commerce site or a sales funnel or a survey or a video sales letter or a webinar or even a full e-commerce site. But it has the full power of Konnektive running the back end, all of the transaction processing, fulfillment management, customer service, and then all the back end tracking and attribution of all the sales. So we've kind of blended these two things together that now makes it more powerful than really any other funnel builder that's out there. And the cool thing about the system is it has this awesome visualizer where you can drag a page, say, okay, this is my pre-sale page, and I'm gonna drag this one over. This is my lead capture page. This is my checkout page. Here's my upsells. Here's my downsells. I'm gonna fire off an SMS message here on cart abandonments, and then I'm gonna send an email at the end of my funnel. And then you're just easily connecting them, going in, selecting a design or designing from scratch, or just dragging and dropping elements onto the page, whether it be a video, text, you know, checkout forms, whatever that might be. And then when you're done building it, you just go in, you put in your URL, click publish, and our system publishes it to an AWS database that we've dedicated to you. So it's really freaking cool. We made that super easy. We also built a really cool technology that Shopify users can use, where you can use the Shopify front end. You can build your site. When the customers are putting their stuff into the shopping cart and they click proceed to checkout, it's an incredibly fast redirect to now the Konnektive checkout and upsell flow. So now you get to use the power of our entire billing system and upsell flow capabilities, you know, with one-click upsells all the way through the checkout, and not have to use Shopify Pro or Shopify Plus. You can just use the Shopify basic system, and Konnektive is doing all that transaction processing.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. You know, getting all these things and this new technology and all the stuff that you have. And one thing that's really exciting is you have this new partnership with Clickbank. Now that's a big deal, big client. Talk to me about that.
So Clickbank it's an awesome environment. So anyone who wants to sell products online can really go to Clickbank and say, okay, I have this widget that I want to sell. And they'll go through and they have all the affiliates. So they have all the traffic sources, and they find the affiliate, you know, typical offers. And then they say, okay, we'll take this product, and they actually issue you your merchant account. So now you don't have to go out to, I'm sorry, Chase, to pay certify or externals, but once you get your merchant account, you create your checkout pages. You're using Funnel Connect on the front end to create your sales pages. So sales to checkout to upsell flow. And then all of that data is now coming into Konnektive, where in the past, it never went really anywhere. So now you have customer information, email, You don't get credit card, but you do get the data, so you can now do email monetization, you can do SMS monetization, you can do partial recovery. There's a lot of things you can do, and you could also use our fulfillment tools and all the other plugins that we have within Konnektive, because we are tracking all that transactional revenue.
Right. And that's great. That's great for the brand too. And I know that there's no other CRMs out there that have that type of partnership. We actually are talking with them about a rebate platform as well, but it's an amazing accomplishment. I know that this is big for you and the company. Tell me about what's the plans for Konnektive. I mean, I know that you guys have this new technology and all this stuff, but what is the plans? Where do you want to go? Where's it headed?
So, I disrupt everything, Chase. Start the world.
Yeah.
Now you get into e-commerce and white hat arena. I'm just going to disrupt everything. We want to get to. We have several thousand clients using the platform now, with tens of thousands of users accessing the system every day. Just a little statistic: we did over $5 billion in processing through Konnektive last year.
Nice.
And, we're hoping to get up to hopefully 7 to 8 billion through the platform this year, and maybe even more. Maybe we'll see what happens. But I want to go and I want to disrupt all of these other funnel builders that don't have the back end or even front end technology that Konnektive has. I want to go and start working with more and more Shopify clients. With Clickbank, we're going to start supporting. They have tens of thousands of clients on their platform. It's just to grow, keep building great technology that allows companies to. And I don't care if you're just starting from sale one, allow you to start within the platform and grow to however large you want to be, right? So limitless possibilities. We have people who have done that, where they've come and they've started with an idea, and now they're doing $8, $10, $12 million a month.
Right.
And those are big companies.
Those are big companies. I mean, $12 million a month is nothing to sneeze at. That's a big, it's a big chunk of data, big chunk of revenue. How important is it for a company and I want to ask this more for the entrepreneurs that are listening, not necessarily people that are growing, but you are a conduit to gather lots of information. Now, not only are you helping your e-commerce companies grow and thrive, but you're ultimately gathering a lot of information, right? Data. How important is that data and reservicing the merchant's customers and being able to grow a company to scale?
It's really important. I mean, there's data tags and metrics that we're tracking on everything, like for the front end sales, fraud screening, for instance, tracking all that data to see what the propensity for fraud is, like distance from IP address, is it a fake or is it a real email? So there's different things to be great. But once the data is in our system, you have customers or partial, what we call partials, leads, or cart abandons.
Right.
Once that is in the system, being able to segment that data and monetize it is very important. I've been screaming this from the hilltops for years in the affiliate marketing industry. Nobody wants to do anything with their data. If you can take that data and create intelligent retargeting, remarketing campaigns, let's say you had an average lifetime value of $320 on a customer. If you can get 20% or 30% or 50% or 100% more, you just doubled, you doubled that lifetime value. Now doubled if you could do that across the board, or even with a percentage of those clients, imagine what that effect would be to your bottom line.
So how do you proactively take data like that and actually monetize it? Give me some examples of what you can do.
So here's a great example. So if I had cart abandonments coming into Konnektive, we have an integration with Twilio, a direct integration. So you can go into the campaign and you can create an SMS text message. So when you leave my shopping site, I can set it and I can say, okay, 3 minutes later, send Chase a text message. And if he doesn't respond to that, send it 3 days later. So the first one that I'm going to set, so I'm creating these marketing sequences, or what we call sales funnels, right? This is the sales funnel. Hey, Chase, we saw you came to our website, but you had left. We've saved your cart. Click here to complete your order.
Gotcha. Cool.
Right. And then the next one, 3 days later, would say, hey, Chase, we noticed you still haven't come back. We still saved your cart. Click here and use this code to get a 20% discount.
Can you do that? So if they abandon the cart, right? Technically, they're not technically opted in, right? So
yeah.
how do you do that, in a compliant fashion?
So the email and the SMS systems have suppression lists. So if someone wants out, they click on subscribe and they're out.
Gotcha.
They originally put their information in with the terms that you have on your site.
And you grabbed it. There you go.
You grabbed it. You're able to do it until they suppress it.
Until they stop. Yeah, gotcha. All right. Well, so going back to Konnektive kind of growth projections and that types of stuff, and the Funnel Connect, is the Funnel Connect product and that what you guys are doing, there's not a whole lot of competition in that space. There's one other big guy that I know of, or a big company that does it, right? But you're essentially a competitor to them. Do you have any other products or innovations that are coming out that everyone should be looking forward towards?
Not on the e-commerce side of well, we do. We actually have one that is coming out that I can't reveal to you yet. But when you're making a lot of sales, you need a customer service center.
Gotcha.
To manage your customer service, and we're working on something that will give you total visibility into all the metrics within your call center environment, which is fantastic. And then on the other side, we have another software that we're launching that works with banks and credit unions around the world on their marketing.
Now, when you say softwares, are these all kind of tied together? So like through one integration, they can access them, or?
The call center piece and Konnektive, those are tied together, but the call center, that can be a standalone, and that can hook into any platform. So you can use that as a standalone, but that will tie together. The banking software, which is called Konnektive Rewards, that's a standalone product, and that services a completely different industry.
Well, you guys are doing some amazing things. I'm lucky to be a partner with you. I'm looking forward towards the future in our relationship. But if clients are listening to this, entrepreneurs are listening to this, they're like, how do I get in touch with Matt? His system sounds amazing, and I like the stuff that they're doing. How do they get in touch with Konnektive and touch base with your team so that they can do business with you?
Yeah, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Konnektive, which is spelled Konnektive, so 2 Ks. You can find me at, you can go to info@konnektive.com, Konnektive.com. Or you can look us up online at www.konnektive, Konnektive.com. Any way that you want.
Well, Matt, it's been a pleasure. I know everyone's excited and everyone wants to do business with you guys. I'm glad that we're partners. And like I said, I know that we're going to do big things together. So looking forward to that. You have a fantastic day, brother. I'm sure that we'll be talking here in the next few.